beating Ferryman in my last video, I decided to up the stakes a little bit this time. I'm taking on Layer 2. So first, before we get into it, I should explain a little bit about what I'm going to do. So in Deepwoken, there's the depths, a place where people who die, or in Deepwoken's case, drown, they get sent here. Now, there's multiple different layers to the depths. Imagine it like a Dante's Inferno kind of deal, where you can just go further and further. Now, what we're focusing on in this video is floor 1 of the second layer, which is also known as the Eternal Gale, which is this huge snowy landscape filled with all sorts of crazy shit. Now, when I put snowy into quotation marks, that's because this shit isn't snow. The Eternal Gale is covered in a thick layer of parasites, which is fucking terrifying to think about, especially with how windy it is down here. Now, before I continue talking about Layer 2, we first have to get there. After going through a whirlpool, we find ourselves inside of Cyphozia, which is the first layer of the depths. Inside of Cyphozia, we find respite within Castle Light, basically the only area of the depths where everything isn't trying to kill you. Here, we're able to speak to Claris Ulfiend, who is able to guide us through our expeditions to Layer 2. So, the reason why we're able to head in through here is because of this huge golden pool inside of Castle Light. The reason why we're able to go on expedition after expedition is because Layer 2 is in a constant time loop. My understanding of it is a little shaky because it's fucking batshit insane, but there's this huge god that is slumbering within Layer 2 called the Scion of Etheron, which is a physical-ish form of the drowned god Etheron. Basically, the fact that some of Etheron's power is even in the second layer makes time loop, and whenever you defeat the Scion or return to the surface via the light hook, the entirety of the second layer collapses with so much energy, since there's a literal god in there, that time resets back to before you came in. Now we're on to how to actually progress through Layer 2. Now, the way that I have it broken down in my head, there's a few steps that you need to go through. The first hurdle that you'll come across is this bridge, as on it there's a Bone Keeper, an enemy that fucked me the first few times that I tried to fight it, but as with most Deepwoken mobs, all you have to do is get good and not be too greedy with your attacks. Once you've killed the Bone Keeper, you're able to power on the generator it was guarding. Doing this sends power over to the Ignition Union base, where the residents are grateful enough to give you access to the Union Hook power, which allows you to travel up to Furfire Village, which is inhabited by these tall creatures called the Kiersons. The Kiersons have you recover this huge spear for them from the Furfire Caverns. They then give you a talent, which helps you see and traverse easily throughout the fog. You're then able to head through the nest corridors, where, 9 times out of 10, with my Wi-Fi, I would be ragdolled and killed instantly by the bounders. Once you've done all of that, you're able to challenge Chaser. Now, the thing about this boss fight, the only difficult part is the actual run that you have to do every single time you want to fight Chaser, which is very reminiscent of Dark Souls 2, where for a ton of bosses in that game, you have a literal multi-minute run back that you have to do every single time you want to try the boss again. Now, after a few failed attempts at Chaser, I was finally able to get the groove of things, and I was able to take him down after about 5 or 6 attempts. I want to thank you for the support on my last video as well. 200 plus views in only a few days on a game that I've never even uploaded before is pretty crazy. I think I'll definitely continue making Deepwoken videos, as well as just more Roblox games. So yeah, thanks, and see you in the next one.